There is something dark and magical about heavy metal. It's not just about the music, it's about the show. You don't see anybody stage diving at a Maroon 5 concert. Garth Brooks fans don't crowd surf. If there was a dance more feared by outsiders than the slam dance, I don't know of it. At my first Gwar concert, I watched Flatus Maximus and Slimenstra Hyman throw my friend Mike into a meat grinder as a reward for winning all 20 tickets Rock 101 KLOL had for the concert. Mike wasn't even trying to win all of them, but Stevens and Pruitt forgot to hand out all the tickets they had for the entire month, so they just gave them all to him the day before the concert when he called in. That's why I feel a special kinship for Free League Publishing's award-winning apocalyptic RPG Mork Borg, or Mork Borg as it's properly known in English. Get ready for one of the blackest, brutal, and bleakest RPGs ever written, as well as one of the most original. I'm Mr. Welch, and it's time to mosh! Mork Borg was written and designed by Pelle Nielsen, with graphic design by Johan Nohr and a score of Undead. The book is brutally short, only 88 pages in digest size. But nothing is wasted. They even included rules on the inside covers and right along the margins for even more rules. If this book used less than 6 different fonts, I would be surprised. All the art is public domain. They use entire pages just for a couple of lines of rules, and then cram words into another page with a reduced font and words strewn about the page. The book is both informative and frustrating, like listening to Sabaton while they simultaneously sing about the Battle of Den Helder while tripping on industrial-strength LSD. The world of Mork Borg is dark, and I mean that in every conceivable way. The apocalypse is very much nigh. You aren't trying to stop it, it's already started. You're trying to survive until the world is engulfed in darkness and fire. Suicide is of no help, as you will reanimate as a tortured soul trapped in your own rotting corpse. Every ruler of every kingdom is mad, cursed, or both. One queen drains everyone and everything of its color, trapped in a gray hell of her own making. The king of Grift is called the Kind, and his plan to escape the end of days is by marching his entire kingdom off of a 1,000-foot cliff, with him at the lead. A pair of two-headed basilisks preach the end times. Their cult has replaced all other religions, and they will often appear to snack on those who attempt to alter reality with magic. Mork Borg is played on a timer. Your game master decides how far away the apocalypse is, anywhere from years to months to weeks or even days. At the start of each day, the GM rolls a die, and on a 1, one of the seals is broken and the apocalypse gets worse. If it's years off, the die roll is a D100, and then it gets smaller as the closer it gets, with just a D2 rolled each day if the end is merely hours away. Mork Borg does not do long campaigns. Not that most characters are going to live long enough to see the final seal broken anyways. Character generation is bloody easy. Roll to see starting gear, then roll to see starting weapons and armor. Roll abilities and roll hit points, then get ready to suffer. There are no skills, no experience, no levels. If the GM decides that you have accomplished a goal, you get to roll on the Getting Better page and hope you do get better. Sometimes your abilities improve, sometimes they get worse. It's not fair and the game doesn't care. Combat is all done by the players. The GM doesn't roll dice. It's up to the players to roll to attack, and all defense rolls are done by the players as well. It's assumed the monsters will hit unless the players can defend successfully. A lot of monsters will kill you if they hit. Even those that do damage will drop a character in a few blows, as hit points are not something players have in abundance in Mork Borg. There are some character classes if you don't want to freestyle it, but they're more like twisted mockeries of humanity at this point. There are no fantasy races to play. If you see a jaunty elf with sharpened ears, a tune on its lips, and dancing around on air, kill it before it kills you. If you want to use the roles found in the book, your options are a half-beast warrior, a subhuman gutter scum, a hermit of questionable sanities, the useless scion of a disgraced noble, a fragile priest of little faith hunted by the creatures he once worshipped, or an occult herb master with the power to heal and destroy in equal measure. Death is certain in Mork Borg. Many monsters will kill you with a single hit, either through massive damage or just built-in rules. Magical misfires will often end in the caster's death, if not the entire party's. The game is simplistic for a reason. Character generation takes minutes. Characters dying takes seconds. It's easily on par with Call of Cthulhu or Paranoia in terms of lethality. Combat is roll a d20, add your modifier, and hit a target number of 12. To avoid being hit, repeat. Most monsters are Nordic versions of classic monsters, but they also possess a cunning a lot of other RPG bad guys lack. Many will run away. They will desert if their leader is killed or if the party is cleaving through them. Some of them will also remember and come back for vengeance when they are fully healed. Mork Borg is an experience. The game is a meat grinder. Characters go in one end and stories about their demise come out the other. The game master just turns the handle. Rewards are few. few silver coins here, maybe a magic item if they get lucky. There is no leveling up. Characters will never get powerful enough to overwhelm the monsters. They're trying to survive in a world where the very gods are trying to kill them. Maybe the players can find a way to appeal the basilisks in order to cancel the end of the world, but more than likely they're just going to be another corpse on a forgotten battlefield. While the game doesn't have a large section on background, it gives the game master enough to create a world gone insane with fear and grief. The Archpriestess of Galgenbeck is forever young, a reward for her worship of the dark god Nekribel, who brings forth melancholy and war. The city of Grift is covered in calendars, accurately marking how many days until the end. Suicide cults seek respite in the Valley of the Unfortunate Dead, hoping to survive the dark days as undead spawn. None of the various kingdoms are given anything more than a few paragraphs of detail, and nothing is fully explained. The characters can try to stop the Mad Monarchs from drowning the lands in their insanity, or work for them and reap the rewards of their foul deeds. There is little good in the lands of Mork Borg unless the players bring it, but there is evil in abundance and in a plethora of sins. Mork Borg is not the easiest game to find players for. The subject matter is dark, mature, and very, very Swedish. If Deathclock made an RPG, this would be it. The insanity of the print style can make it difficult to read at times, because the font changes line to line and word to word. Some of the charts switch between Arabic and Roman numerals in the middle of the list, and sometimes the lists aren't even in numerical order. The book looks like it was written by a madman, and it reads like it as well. It is a conversation starter, and while it is heavy on style, it doesn't delve into absolute evil like other failed dark games before it. You're not going to find instructions on how to commit the vilest sins, and no one's fetish is shining through unless you count the obvious death metal influences. You and your friends are going to talk about your deaths and exploits from Mork Borg. It doesn't need much more than character sheets, dice, and no small amount of corpse paint. Mork Borg is in stores now and online for about $25 depending on where you get it. If you want to get it from your friendly local game store, you might have to get them to special order it. This is not something that some stores will want sitting on their shelves. The upside down cross on page 72 might have something to do with it. You are playing the game for the experience, much like going to the metal concerts. Like the first time you saw Rammstein and it took 2 weeks for your eyebrows to grow back. Or when you took your friend to Judas Priest because she loved their music and then she asked to sit on your shoulders for living after midnight, only she swings her leg the wrong way and you end up experiencing all of Rob's vocals with a woman sitting backwards on your shoulder, and she doesn't care because she's facing a speaker. But then you get to come to the realization that there is a God and he loves you. But I digress. Next time on Mad Musings, I'm jumping back into the world of darkness as I'm alternating games to finish off that line with Werewolf the Apocalypse, or how I stopped worrying and learned to love Krynos. But until then, up the irons.